If you really need money, just get a job. Businesses are for creative expression and for helping people and letting it grow in their own way. If you need it to perform, it's an easy way to just burn yourself out. She comes from a long line of pharmacists and is kind of Utah pharmacy royalty and pharmacy legend. Her family is a big deal out here in Utah. She's in Utah with me. She comes from a long line of pharmacists and had a career in regular pharmacy. But now Dr. Megan Jolley Milne has done something completely different and revolutionary and created her own business. And she's also has a very busy life with a family of 5. Is that right, Megan? 5 kids? How old is this?
Yeah, my oldest just turned 13.
13. So 5 kids, ages 13 and under. She's been in business for more than 5 years, and she just posts really delightful and hilarious content consistently. She is not a boring pharmacist. I'd like to introduce the Prednisone pharmacist, Dr. Megan Jolley Milne. Thank you for joining us, Megan.
I'm so excited to be here, Jamie. This is like a privilege that I get to just hang out with my friend here and share some good stuff.
I wanted you just to learn from her because what you're doing, Megan, is just amazing. And the brand you've created yourself, that you are the Prednisone pharmacist and have consistently been building a healthy business and crossed that 5-year threshold, it's amazing. I think so many people can learn from you, especially as you're juggling a busy life and are doing it not as a single person living in an apartment in the city, like I think single people do. Like, you're doing it in a very busy life. So can you tell me a 30-second history of your background in pharmacy and what the tipping point was that suddenly got you interested in Prednisone?
Yeah. So I grew up in a family pharmacy, did everything from delivering flowers to being a pharmacist. Then I moved out of state. I got a job doing managed care. And I did that from home back before that was cool in New York City. And then I came home and I was working for an insurance company doing appeals, getting paid per appeal instead of per hour, which was pretty cool. And then at that time, I had this weird rash that suddenly appeared, and I found out that it was ITP, idiopathic thrombocytopenia purpura, or immune thrombocytopenia, whatever you want to call it. And it necessitated my use of our very favorite drug we love to hate, Prednisone.
So you actually took Prednisone yourself.
I had to take it for almost 9 months. And the only way I got off of it was they said chemotherapy with Rituxan or splenectomy, giving up my spleen. And I was like, I can't decide which is worse, but I decided to go for the chemotherapy. And so I've been in remission.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize your story was that dramatic, Megan. I just thought she Prednisone for something. No big deal. Oh my gosh.
Without Prednisone, I probably would be dead. Without modern medicine, I probably would have bled to death from the ITP. I don't know if you remember from pharmacy school, your platelet range, but the normal is 150 to 400. And when they first caught it, they frantically called me and said, you have 12 platelets. And then they sent me to the emergency room, and there they measured 3. I had 3. I was a ticking time bomb ready to bleed to death. If I'd gotten in a car accident on the way to the hospital, I would have just bled out. There would have been nothing stopping me from bleeding. So Prednisone is a literal miracle in my life. It saved me from the horrible fate of leaving my children motherless.
How long ago was this, Megan?
That was in 2018.
So it's really not that long ago.
Yeah, 2017 to 2018 is when I took it.
And so you took it for 9 months, and we learn about all of the side effects of Prednisone and how it's a miracle drug and it also wreaks havoc on your body. I was watching one of your YouTube videos of all the side effects you're drawing it out, and it's every part of your body that can be negatively impacted.
Yeah, every part. Prednisone affects everything, every part of your body, every part of your life, from your sleep to your relationships, from your face, your moon face, to your belly, to your bones, everything. Nothing is left untouched by the havoc that Prednisone causes.
And so what you did next is so cool, and something I would have never considered in my life. You actually created a solution to this problem. And like you created a physical product to help aid in the solution. It's amazing. I guess I always thought like only big pharma companies who have like 100,000 square foot manufacturing plants could do anything with a physical product. Tell me how you went from suffering for 9 months to prednisone to saying like, wait, I'm a pharmacist. I can figure out a solution and I'm actually going to manufacture the solution. How in the heck did you connect those dots and do such a, to me, like it feels like a really big jump?
It was a really big jump because the pharmacy school I went to, while we had an amazing herbals professor, all of the other professors were like, supplements are basically just flushing money down the toilet. They're pointless. They're mostly scams. Like nobody wants them. Like there's no point. Like just tell your patients not to use them. So to go from that climate of I am not a kind of person who believes in magic and like that woo-woo stuff to suddenly becoming a person who's inventing and selling a supplement was like a huge leap for me. Literally the day before I came up with this idea, I told my other pharmacist friend, I said, I wish I believed in supplements because it would be the perfect business model. Because I had read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek book, where that's literally what he did. He came up with a supplement and created a company to sell it and works 4 hours. I'm nearly there. I'm nearly doing that type of thing where that's what I do. I basically do a 4-hour work week. And so I had read that and it was like, if only I believed in supplements, I could come up with something that would make sense. But I don't believe in them. And then the next day I went through another round of chemotherapy and I was feeling horrible. I was staring at the ceiling thinking, if only I could just take a stinking nap. Like with my toddler right now, I'm so exhausted. These prednisone side effects, this insomnia is ruining my life. What can I possibly do? I'm just staring there and suddenly it was like a light bulb. I had an epiphany. I realized right then that people on prednisone needed a dietary supplement specifically for them that was based on evidence, not just magic, belief, hope, great marketing. It was because we all learned in pharmacy school we need calcium and vitamin D. But having taken the prednisone, I was stunned to discover that it wasn't just those 2 nutrients, that it was actually at least 9, if not 13 or more nutrients that prednisone is depleting. That before you take prednisone, your nutrition is here. But because prednisone is mimicking cortisol, the stress hormone, getting us through famines and wars, stealing from our bones, stealing from our muscles, stealing from our reserves to get us through this miserable time, that where we were suddenly drops. And that's where the side effects come from. That drop, that depletion of nutrients causes the side effects. And it was like, I have to fill that need. I have to replenish that. And then people won't suffer nearly as much while on prednisone. That if they're struggling, should I take prednisone or not? I know it's side effects. You give back those nutrients, suddenly the benefits are so much more in their favor because there's not as much suffering. I'm as much osteoporosis or insomnia or weight gain or hunger cravings or moon face. Those things are banished because we're giving back what they need based on evidence.
That's amazing. And that you were able to have that moment of inspiration to figure it out and then go create it. What made you want to create it rather than just getting a cocktail of if you go to Walgreens, you can buy some vitamin D, buy some calcium, just get a handful of pills and take that. What made you, because I can imagine creating a supplement that someone takes has regulations and the learning manufacturing or finding a manufacturing partner would be complicated. What made you want to do that rather than just you need some calcium, so take some calcium.
Right. So, I knew the calcium vitamin D. I could have gone that route. But when I had realized all that people really needed, it was a new product. Nobody offered anything like it out there because it's a combination of those nutrients plus some special herbs like berberine and cassia, melatonin. And it needed to be the right ratio. And I wanted there to be a morning bottle and a bedtime bottle so people could sleep at night. And there wasn't anything out there. I had to create it myself. And in his 4-hour work week, he's like, it's not a big deal. You just do the thing. And, I go through this whole process, vetting manufacturers, only insisting on the best ingredients, all of this stuff. It took a whole year to get the legal protection, to get the manufacturing, all of that, a whole year, plus a lot more money than I thought to create this business the way I wanted it to be. So is it worth it now, 5 years later? Do I recommend this to other people now? I don't know. But for me, it was the right thing to do because it was the way I could create the best product to solve this problem.
And you did two things as you were thinking about this. You not only created the best product to actually solve the problem that you could guarantee, like, those are the right amounts. You're not just saying, get any Burberry, hopefully it's good, and having that variability. But also you were thinking like a smart businesswoman and like thinking, how can I create this into something that's actually sustainable and that works with the life I want to create? Because I've also read the 4-Hour Workweek book and I loved it too. And love just the opportunities where we have to work in new ways that allow us to spend as much or as little time as we want to consistently grow in the right direction. Well done.
Thank you. It has been quite a journey. I've learned a lot.
Well, you've been creating a lot. For 5 years, you've just been creating. I was binging your YouTube channel this morning, and you have 245 YouTube videos with more than 3.5 thousand subscribers, and you're working 4 hours a week. That's incredible at what you've created over that time. So tell me more about how you're able to so consistently publish and how you created that brand all around yourself, that no one else is the Prednisone Pharmacist. That's you.
So originally, I wanted to just create this pretty little label and hide behind it. I never wanted to like show my face. I never wanted to become a public figure. I never wanted to, like show my private home. I wanted to just, okay, buy it. Like if you build it, they will come. Then I learned more about marketing and realized that there's no such thing as if you build it, they will come. That I had to actually market. I had to learn how to market. And that if it took me that long to realize I needed this for myself, and I had all the training and knowledge to understand that people aren't necessarily looking directly for this product. So I can't just be like, they'll just come. They needed a bridge of understanding from I'm suffering this problem to here's the solution. They needed that bridge, and that could only be done through education. I had to learn these skills because there was no other way. Like people couldn't get the help they actually needed without me explaining why they needed it.
Because it's like the blue ocean, the red ocean, blue ocean analogy, that red oceans are markets that already exist and there's already products there. And blue oceans don't exist. They're brand new categories. And so if you're expecting people to search prednisone solution, they're not searching that because they don't know that that's the problem. They just know like moon face. I feel terrible. I can't sleep. So they're like searching like sleep aids when really it's a different solution. Is that what you're talking about? Like educating what the awareness, what the actual problem is, and that there is the solution and what's going behind it.
Exactly. I had to really come to understand them better first. I knew what my experience with prednisone had been, but I don't know what everybody else's feels like. And I had to learn that. I had to like love these people in where they're suffering so that I could really speak to who they are right now and learn how to solve that problem better for them.
And where did you find these people?
So first I found them on Facebook. There are actually lots of Facebook support groups when it comes to prednisone and autoimmune conditions that use prednisone. There were at least 21 when I was searching. And so I would just ask to join, and I would listen, and I would answer questions people had, and I would just try to provide value and understand who they were. That's where I started. And then I started creating videos and vlogs and got a lot of the ideas from the questions they were asking.
Because they were telling you exactly what was frustrating them or seeing like what they didn't understand. So that's your material for what you're going to talk about, rather than just sitting there thinking like, wonder if people is suffering from prednisone want to know. They're actually telling you right there. And so you're just smart and seeing what they want and then giving it to them rather than shouting at them and hoping that it resonates.
It was really convenient that they were so vocal about how awful they felt.
Well, and you've done a really good job of communicating at a level that patients and people can understand, because I think it's really hard for people in healthcare to like take all of this knowledge that we've learned and give it to people in like a third grade verbiage and to just make it simple and accessible. And what you do really well, Megan, is that like you make it funny and like it's interesting to interact with. Right before we hit record, I was telling you, every time I open Instagram, I see a different like meme that you've pulled up and how it relates to prednisone. And I have to stop every time and like look at it and read it. And I usually laugh because it's just funny and like ridiculous. And it meets not only education, but just that humor and like dopamine hit we get when we want on social media that can be really hard to learn, because we did not learn this in pharmacy school at all.
Not at all. Nobody taught you how to do social media in pharmacy school, that's for sure.
No, and in fact, I think it felt like, if anything, we were taught like you have to be professional and come across very professional means like straight-laced and boring, and you're only like spewing facts with all of the cited references on the slide. And in real life, patients are just looking for a solution and they just want someone who understands them and can communicate that, rather than being at a higher level and missing people entirely.
Yeah, they don't want to hear from somebody in an ivory tower. They don't care about the really fancy medical terms that I could use to describe like osteonecrosis. Nobody cares. And they just want to hear, okay, how is it going to actually affect me? What can I actually do about this? Do you even understand me? And that's where I've kind of fallen in love with these people and the struggles they go through.
And where that human connection with you as a person who's gone through it has made your brand grow and stay in business for 5 years, rather than just an ad from this company that, sure, it may help, but we're humans and we love that emotional connection, and that like, she went through this. Oh, and she's a pharmacist. So like you're checking all the boxes. So you found patients and what they're going through in Facebook pages. How do you grow your clients now and to find people to use this? Especially teach me about SEO and how you're getting in front of the right people using the really cool technology out there now.
The short-term answer is I did Facebook ads, and I would send people to a landing page where they would download a PDF checklist of the prednisone checklist, all the things you need to know to survive on prednisone. So that's like the short-term paid version. But then the long strategy that doesn't pay off for months, if not years, is SEO, which stands for search engine optimization. Basically, how do you show up on a Google search result? And I knew that's what I wanted, because I knew that what the information that you could find by searching on Google when it comes to prednisone was just flat out wrong most of the time. That it was like this echo chamber of false information, just like bouncing around from one website to another. And I wanted to bring like real information to the search results. And so then I came across a guy named Neil Patel, and he offers tons of free courses. Like he's done a free course on like every type of online marketing there is. And they're as good, if not better, than the paid stuff you could pay thousands of dollars for. Anyway, I came across his SEO course and I like did it. Every Saturday, he'd come out with a new module, and I would just sit there and do the thing until it was done. And it set up my foundation so I could start showing up on Google. And at first, it was like I would get, like a couple hundred people who would visit my website a month. Recently, this last quarter, I was getting 1.5 million search result hits per month. And so like it has grown. It has really grown a lot. It's a ton of work. It's a long haul, but it worked. And I'm becoming the go-to answer for people when they have questions about prednisone.
And you have that long-term view, knowing that what you do today won't result necessarily in $1 earned from that one action, but you're planting seeds and developing systems and ways you reach people so that ultimately you can get in front of more people.
Exactly. And it's finding those little, they call them long tail keywords, like, can I take prednisone or ibuprofen with prednisone? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many words is that? Going after that exact phrase, right? Like, I can make a video on YouTube that explains, can I take ibuprofen with prednisone? And then I make a blog about it and I use those words in there. Then I'm going to show up eventually when enough people click on it that Google's like, oh, this is actually good stuff. And they'll show more and more of it. And it just takes a while to have the search engine find you, to have people basically do the test for Google, like, is this any good? And then to slowly increase your rankings.
And by searching things so far out, is that like people aren't even complaining of problems or looking for a solution, but just saying anything like a specific drug with prednisone that is a light bulb of, oh, this person is taking prednisone and they're in pain. Like, interesting. They could benefit from you.
Yeah. So basically, I made it my goal to have something, a video, a blog, whatever, on every single search term that people could put into Google when it came to prednisone. Whether it's prednisone with alcohol or prednisone with breastfeeding or prednisone with whatever drug they're searching for, that I have created a video or a blog about that topic. Like, you can find that information. Like, there are websites that will tell you everything that's searched in Google. And then I just made that my content calendar, if you will. Like, here's the top 100 things people search for. Okay, I have 100 weeks of content now. Like, I just cover each one of those every week. And it's easy. That's 2 years of videos to make, right? Like, not hard. Just one thing every week. And here we are, almost 250 videos later.
Is that what you spend most of your 4 hours doing, is creating those videos?
No. So I usually batch my videos. So like, I'll do the research of what topics do I want to cover. Then I'll outline just the top, 3 most important things about each of those topics. That was a conclusion. And then I use Trello to like outline all of this stuff, to manage where each piece of content is in the process. And then like get at least 5 videos ready. And then I record 5 videos all in one setting.
Oh man, that's what I do too. Just like while the camera's on, while your hair is done, just like record.
While my kids are quiet, like I have such a narrow window of time. I really have to, like, I'm not going to get all dolled up and have my house silent for that much time in a week. So I got to do it and like bust it out. And then editing and, all of the promotion of it, that takes more time than just the recording of the videos. That's the best, most fun part that doesn't take very much time.
And that's how busy moms do it. And to say, I have a very little window, like right now, your baby is taking a nap and your preschooler is doing preschool. This is like 1 hour you have of the day. Go. And you just have to make the most important use of your time and like not care if all of these things we think could be important and take time. It's more important that you just hit record, talk about that subject and get it on than making it too complicated.
Yeah. And most of my videos were literally direct to camera. The production quality was no good. Some of them, the audio is even horrible. And it's like, the funniest thing is my most popular video is like the worst one ever, when I couldn't get anything to work. And I literally just used my iPhone and like some earbuds. And I just talked into the camera and it was so boring. And it was like my worst video ever. And it's taken off like tens of thousands of views. It's like, whatever. I can't.
But clearly, you can't judge your own work. You cannot judge it. Like what you think is the worst, clearly tens of thousands of people, that's exactly what they were searching for. And it's kind of funny how life works that way, that you can't predict what's going to go blockbuster, what people are going to love. Your job is to create based on the information that you get, which you use very intelligent information by seeing the lists of what people are searching. So you have a good idea, and then just let people decide. And in a way, I think it's more humanizing to not be perfect, to just like, hey, I have AirPods on. You're hearing kids in the background, but I want to talk to you because this is for you, the consumer, not I'm Megan and like, I'm so amazing. And I think that's where people, tell me if you agree, you can get in your head about worrying about you, like how you look, when really the focus should just be on how can I help someone today? I have a solution for them and I'm just going to do anything I can.
Exactly. And that was one of those days where it's like, why am I even doing this? Like the technology won't work. Nobody's even watching these videos. It's just so pointless. Like, why even bother plugging in the earbuds? Like just throw in the towel today. There's no point. But it was like, no, consistency. Like I said, I would make a video a week. So this is my video this week. And I didn't start batching until recently, right? Like it was one video a week and that was it. Like, I don't want to set anybody up for unrealistic expectations. Like I was proud if I got that one video in. And at first I was working that other job to pay the bills for this business, right? Pay for that manufacturing, to pay for my website development, for all of that stuff. I was working that other job 4 days a week and then dedicating 1 day a week to this. That was all I had at first. Then COVID hit and they laid me off. And, I had all the time in the world. So put all my eggs in this basket.
I was faster, but then you'd also built that for yourself rather than like COVID hit. Okay, now I have to build this company to save me. You'd already built it and we're testing the waters so you could lean into it rather than like, okay, rug is swept out from under my feet. Now I have to save myself. I don't know. Other people may disagree, but I don't think you should build a business to save yourself. If you really need money, just get a job.
Just get a job.
Businesses are for creative expression and for helping people and letting it grow in their own way. If you need it to perform, it's an easy way to just burn yourself out.
I love what Ryan Moran said about what an entrepreneur is. It's somebody who finds a problem and owns it. Like, I don't have to solve the prednisone side effect problem. Nobody made me do that. I decided it was my problem to solve, that I'm going to own this problem and I'm going to help people across the world. I was just talking to somebody in like Australia right before this call, and across the world, people are reaching out to me. I've talked to people in Brazil and Pakistan, like everywhere. People are dealing with this problem and I've decided it's my problem to solve. And so they've come to me for it.
And I love that you're solving this problem and that you're a shining example to the entire world that there's no such thing as a niche too small. I think most people would laugh and say you cannot build a company off of one drug, one supplement. And look, you are. You're based on educating on a single medication, nothing else. And look at this, worldwide, you're helping people and it's exactly what people need. Well done, Megan. I hope you're so proud of yourself to not only be the Prednisone pharmacist, help people around the world, but also have a healthy business and to be in business for 5 years, especially as a female entrepreneur.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been such a privilege to be in this time where I can talk to you on the internet. I can talk to people across the world. Like we're so lucky to live in this miraculous time that as pharmacists, we're not just relegated to one business model. There's so many options available to us. We're so lucky to live in this time.
Okay. Well, Megan, well done. You are proving that there is no subject too small and that people all around the world are really looking for a pharmacist and a white coat who can help them in a unique way. You're proving that to be wildly successful and that you can have a healthy business and a busy family and set up how you work to work in cool ways and to not work that many hours a week and have an international impact with just a few years in business and not a lot of prior business experience. Well done, Megan. Well done.
Thank you. It has been quite a roller coaster.
For everyone who's like, man, I want to see more of this Prednisone pharmacist, I'm going to include the links below of everywhere you can learn from Dr. Megan Jolley Milne. So check those out and see how she's reaching so many people around the world. And Megan, final question for you. You are a wealthy white coat, and we measure wealth in so many different ways. In what way in your life are you actively nurturing wealth?
Well, right now I'm trying to nurture time wealth, the time that I get to spend with my family. My kids are growing up before my eyes. It's crazy how quickly the time passes. And right now my focus is on maximizing my time with them by maximizing my little time that I'm working on my business. So like I don't waste.
I hope you learned a lot from this episode. My takeaways from Dr. Megan Jolley Milne were that you can create your own company based on a very small, very specific niche and have worldwide success, have a very successful company that lasts the years. Secondly, I love how she developed a short 4-hour work week for herself and actually created a business that not only serves people in a way that's really meaningful to her, but complements her family schedule and a very busy life. And lastly, I love how she's always learning and always pivoting quickly to get in front of the right people. She's reaching people all around the world and working with them in a new way, not necessarily in that pharmacist-patient relationship, but using her knowledge as a PharmD to help people in a new and cool way with a physical product and with education and having a profitable business as a result. I hope you feel encouraged and excited that even if you haven't seen something in practice before, it doesn't mean it's not crazy. You can go and build it too. Thanks for joining me.